Hello there. Welcome to episode 74 of the Fallout Feed. This is Andrew here. Welcome, everyone. Just a little capture the flag update for the Fallout Feed. If you're not familiar, we are doing a little game in the Fallout Feed with our listeners, where when we have all four of our hosts on the show, meaning Denny, Pat, Kara, and me, Andrew, that if we all say our secret word and one of the listeners out there guesses the secret word and sends their response to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. Again, all official responses must go to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. The correct response will reward you with our flag of the Brotherhood of Steel, our capture the flag Brotherhood of Steel. All the hosts are defacing the flag. We're signing it. We're putting little cool little drawings on it. I was a Minuteman fanboy jerk and drew the Minuteman symbol on the Brotherhood of Steel flag. I thought that was totally appropriate. So we are passing that around between the hosts right now, getting that all defaced and ready to go to our listeners. And actually, our first winner has already been announced. Kevin will be receiving the flag here before too long. So Kevin, I know it's not quite yet ready for you, but we'll be getting it to you very soon, and we'll let him hold on to it for a good piece. Let him enjoy it. Roll around in bed with it for a little bit. Have a good romp with the flag, and then we'll do it all again and let someone else have a shot at it. So congratulations, Kevin, on being our first big winner of the Capture the Flag game here on the Fallout Feed, and thanks everybody for participating. Let's see. Next up on the agenda here, reminder, we have a roundtable coming. This will be season 3 of the Fallout Roundtable. Season, I believe it was 6 of the Skyrim Roundtable just finished a few weeks ago. So if you're interested in our Roundtable thing and you're just listening to Fallout and you're interested in checking out Skyrim, maybe, I recommend it highly. Skyrim's a great game. Go over and check it out. We have the Skyrim Roundtable, which is very similar to our Fallout Roundtables that we have done, if you're familiar with this show. So go check out the Skyrim Roundtable over there, and we're starting up yet another Fallout Roundtable here pretty soon. So we're collecting characters. If you are interested in participating, go ahead and send us an email at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. Let us know where you're from and what you like to do, your sort of gaming history and stuff, and we'd love to hear from everyone who wants to be involved. So if you'd like to participate, do a play along character and send us an audio feedback, which is how we like to play your audio feedback on the show. We also like to hear from you in email forms. But as far as audio feedback goes, you can send in just voice memos from your telephone, your smartphone. You have a little a voice memo app where you can do little sound recordings. That is totally fine for our purposes. You can send it on into the falloutfeed@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear about your Roundtable characters. If you would like to participate and do a play on character, you can find the Fallout Roundtable random character generator at www.asapodcasting.com, and you click on the Fallout Feed under the shows section. So go to the shows, find the Fallout Feed, and click on the link that says Fallout Roundtable random character generator. You'll find a really neat little tool that Marcus, our good buddy Marcus, set up for us. Thank you so much, Marcus. But it is a very neat little thing. It actually brings up a Pip-Boy. So if you guys want to go check that out, and then you can sort of randomly generate your character. It's great, good fun. But we'd like to hear about your character, what you're rolling, and what you're going to do. The roundtable does start up very soon. When is that? The 13th of April will be our first recording session of the roundtable. That will basically be some character introductions, and we'll get into quests shortly after that, and then we'll listen to feedback from all our play-along characters the episode after that. So that'll probably be how the roundtable sessions will go here for the next few months. So great, I'm excited to get back into this roundtable. Pat will, of course, be involved. Kara's going to hop on as often as possible. She's going to do a roundtable character as well. And Denny will hopefully be back to his regular schedule before too long. And we're going to do a little bit of a rotating play along character. The play along person will be drawing people onto the show every couple of weeks. So if you're maybe interested in doing a play along character, we might have space eventually. I'm not sure how many people we have lined up already, but yeah, just to have some new varied voices on the show. We are inviting on each batch of shows a play along participant. So yes, I'd like to welcome everyone to the show. Great, Fallout Feed. So roundtable be Thursday, April 13th. So let's just go over real quick what we'll be doing for the roundtable. We will be doing the DLC. Excuse me as I drink. We'll be doing the DLC Nuka World. So in order to do a play along character in just the base game, you will have to have downloaded Nuka World. And if you want to do a full play along, you will also have to have the ability to download mods, because we are also concentrating on the mod by Chris Takahashi, Tales from the Commonwealth, which is a very nice sort of woven into the background. You know, it's not very obvious. It's not different. He's not trying to do anything outlandish. But it fits into the world very well. Commonwealth, I think I haven't really played all of the quests yet, so this will be exciting to play through for the first time. It's I believe, a loose story of connected. There's, I don't know, at least 14 to 20 of them, somewhere in that ballpark. So it'll be great to hear all these Tales from the Commonwealth quests. Chris Takahashi is also a modder. He's had lots of experience in Skyrim. He did the interesting NPCs mods for Skyrim if you're into that. So it's going to be good stuff. I'm excited to get into that too. So Nuka World and Tales from the Commonwealth are going to be what we're going to be concentrating on. Our first session will be on Thursday, April 13th, and we'll basically be doing character introductions then, and probably the next week after that we'll go over the quests, and then, like I said before, listener feedback. And then session 2 will be in May, early May. Session 3 late May. Session 4, middle of June. Session 5 early July. Session 6 all the way in late July. Oh my goodness. So that's how it's a good calendar. That's what we're going to do for here the next little bit on. So roundtable. Yeah, good stuff. Let's go ahead and check in with some listeners to see what they had to say in the email box. So email-wise, of course the phone isn't opening the email app. We have Leon. Oh, great. Yeah. Leon is someone who's checked in with us recently, and I've been enjoying hearing from Leon. I think he's hopping into the roundtable, which will be good stuff. Hopping onto the play along. So here we go. Leon starts off, he writes to the Fallout Feed roundtable address here. Begin game. Prelude to Roundtable. So this is Olivia, my Season 3 Roundtable character. I put her backstory on the Facebook group. She left the vault with a strength of 2, perception 6, endurance 4, charisma 5, intelligence 3, agility 2, luck of 6. She's currently level 37. Oh, wow, already pumping up those levels. Jeez. With a special 3, perception 7, endurance 4, charisma 8, intelligence 6, agility 2, luck 7. She has big leagues perk 1, armor 3, locksmith 3, chem resist of 2, black widow 1, local leader 2, party girl 2, scrapper 2, science 2, commando 4, Bloody Mess 3, Mysterious Stranger 1, Better Crits 2, Crit Banker 2. Wow, gosh. Better Crits and Crit Banker 2 teamed up. That can be pretty brutal if you know what you're doing there. So good job there, Leon. After leaving the vault, she made her way home, found Codsworth, and learned how long she had been on ice. Then she went to Concord. On the way, finding Dog all alone. Investigating some shots, her dog was attacked by a raider, so she joined the fight, killing the raiders. A man, Preston, from the second floor of the Museum of Freedom asked her to help, so she did. Raiders inside, she met a small group who asked her to get help and a suit of power armor up and running. Luckily, she remembered Nate had told her about what Nate had told her about using power armor, eat more raiders, and a huge monster she later learned was called a Deathclaw. The lady known as Mama Murphy seemed to have predicted this, which intrigued her, especially once she said Sean was still alive. Her and Preston then escorted the remaining people to Sanctuary. Olivia helped set up Sanctuary with her settlement with water and food. However, Preston royally pissed her off. When she told him about Sean, his very next reaction was asking her to help a settlement. Olivia agreed to help the settlement just to get out of Sanctuary before she ripped Preston's insensitive face. She found out the settlement, 10 Pines, was having raider problems. Olivia killed the raiders and then moved herself to 10 Pines, telling Preston to get off his butt and fix the Minutemen himself. She left Codsworth in Sanctuary to watch the settlement and to report to her, but except for the occasional visit to get her share of the food and water, she washed her hands of them. On her way to Diamond City, she stumbled across another vault, number 81. While there, she discovered it was another experiment, this time involving viruses. She went ahead and gave the cure to the kid, more in memory of Sean than anything else, and hooked up with a Curie robot and continued to Diamond City. Once there, she heard about a private detective named Nick who might help after he was rescued. Sighing, she went and rescued him. With his and Dogmeat's help, she tracked down the man that had killed Nate and killed him. He said Sean was in the Institute, so they were next, but she would need help. She started looking for clues along the way, and she met a group of ancient humans, the Cabots. In the end, she thought if Jack was out of the way, she could take Lorenzo's crown, but once she met him, she decided not to mess with it. Happily, Lorenzo understood her desire and agreed to keep her supplied with serum, so she was now unaging and could potentially live forever, giving her plenty of time to exact her revenge for Nate and Sean. She made a point of joining both the Brotherhood and the Railroad, not out of any true belief in either ideology, but more in the hope one of them might be able to help her get into the Institute. After a wild trip, like one of her pre-war drug trips, the Institute could teleport, and she needed to find an ex-Institute scientist named Virgil. She's also heard about an odd broadcast on Nuka World that she might investigate soon. So far, Olivia has bled and been burnt, beat up, and shot, stabbed, and her face is now a mass of scar tissue. And she has decided that much of the Commonwealth are weak and worthless. The good person she had trying to be for Nate is gone. Shriveled up and dead, buried deep in her soul, she works for her own ends, only really doing things she thinks will advance her cause. Sometimes she pretends to be nice to advance, but the niceness is never real. Hey, great. That's awesome. Thanks a lot, Leon, for writing in. Leon says, I've really been enjoying this character. I've never really used VATS before. I've been mainly a melee build, but I'm loving Crit Banker and using Righteous Authority or Deliver. I've only put 1 point in big leagues for the round table, since I don't want to fall back onto melee. I've got a plan for my role play for her throughout the whole roundtable, and that will come across the vents as warranted. I'll also post to the Facebook group with pics. Hey, that's great, Leon. Thanks so much for hopping on. That was an outstanding little update or a prelude to what's going to be going on with your roundtable character. So that's great example of the kind of emails we like to see, what your characters are getting into. We also like to hear your voices and get some audio feedback. Let's see, emails. Let's see, we just heard from Leon there. Great again. Thank you so much, Leon. Let's check in also with Dennis and Michelle. Michelle also wrote us. We'll check in with Canada and see what Michelle is up to here. Excuse me. I keep grossly drinking on air. Michelle says, I know you've touched the topic a few times already in the past, but now that you've played quite a lot of Fallout 4, how would you compare your experience in that game to the one in Skyrim? Open world, NPCs, stories, gear, combat, quests, main quest, factions, etc., etc. Oh, goodness sakes. I will try to be there live if Shirley allows me to take a break. Well, gosh, I haven't even seen if anyone is live in the YouTube. So Michelle could be watching live. I don't know. Yes, Michelle, this is a very deep email, a heavy question that I don't know if I can get into without bouncing my ideas off of the other hosts as well. It is, of course, obvious, at least as far as Fallout 4 is concerned, that I like the things that people hate. I like Preston Garvey because people hate on him. He is not nearly as annoying as everyone says. Everyone relax. Preston Garvey's awesome. The open worldness, I always used to hate the comparison that Skyrim and Fallout was just Fallout was Skyrim with guns, or Skyrim is Fallout with magic. I never liked that comparison. But to someone who has no idea, like who knows one game really well but not the other, that's kind of an okay place to start, I guess, with a description. I don't know. I just clicked over to YouTube and I see that Michelle is talking to Kara, and no one's jumping on. But, oh wait, Kara just to jump on. Hey, Kara, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm being a creepy creeper.
Okay, what's going on? Hey, welcome to the show, Kara.
Thanks.
I was just checking in with some emails from Michelle. Did you hear the email I read?
I did, and it looks like Michelle's still in the chat.
Nice. Hey, Michelle. So what do you think? You've played a little Skyrim now, have you not?
Mm-hmm.
How do you compare your two experiences, Fallout versus Skyrim?
You know, I'm going to have a different perspective because most people started with Skyrim and then did the Fallout, but for me, it's the reverse. I started with Fallout and then did the Skyrim. And honestly, that transition made it pretty easy for me because I had to struggle with trying to figure out how Fallout worked, which was more familiar for people who started with Skyrim, right? Like the interfaces are kind of the same.
Yeah, it's format wise a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But I would still, not necessarily compare the two to each other as equal games. I feel like you have honestly a lot more options in Skyrim than you do in excuse me, Fallout. Just like Pat, my allergies are acting up tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh man, I guess it's spring.
Yeah, the options, as in.
It seems to me like there are just like so many different storylines, and maybe to me it just seems like there are a whole bunch of factions or what have you in Skyrim versus Fallout. How many factions are there in Skyrim?
Well, there's 4 main ones, but then there's a billion just little tiny side story ones.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool because I'm one of those weirdos who likes side stories. Because like they're little bite-sized chunks of like, this is also how the world is kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bit of background and depth to the whole environment. And so for me, I'm loving that whenever it comes to Skyrim. And of course, that's why I like the emails in Fallout 4. I like the context they give to pre-world and
Oh,
to
the terminals,
right
yeah.
up, yeah, right up to the end. And it's a really, really interesting look. And honestly, you can do a lot of pretty amazing stuff in just short little bits like that. And it's really cool whenever something happens or I read something that just kind of blows me away. So I think I wouldn't compare the two games as equal, but I would say that they both, or I should say, not necessarily equal, but like comparable to each other. But I can see the
There's lots
similarities.
there's lots of parallels, as in like the books in Skyrim are the terminals in Fallout. The
Yeah,
lock picking in the both is exactly the same, or at least in Skyrim and Fallout 4. You know, there's lots of stuff. Character, they do have like a character creator where you get to do this and that, and your character just kind of gets to go out and do this stuff. You don't necessarily have to go in any specific direction in either game, you know.
yeah.
So of course they're sort of on the similar structure. They're built by the same company. They're developed by the same head director. He, what's his name? Todd Howard has his thumb all over both of those entities now. So of course they're going to feel sort of similar, right?
Sort
But
of similar, yeah.
at the same time, the menu system in Skyrim is much cleaner. I feel the Pit Boy is slightly clunky and hard to learn at first. It's weird that you have a row of tabs up top and then each tab has a row of tabs in it. Like, that was confusing to me at first. It took a
Yeah.
while to learn the Pit Boy.
I think
What did
whoever
you struggle
designed
with?
that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what did you struggle with when you first started playing Fallout?
Um, I can't tell if it was my own dumb, but honestly, trying to figure out the workshop menu, it was so
Yeah,
counterintuitive to me. And I'm not entirely sure why, because it's been quite some time since I struggled with that. And now, once I didn't have any friends who were playing it at the time, so I couldn't be like, hey, did you figure this out? And I looked at a few things online and I tried to read, what people are saying, how to navigate this and that and the other. And I could not figure it out. And finally one day, like something clicked in my dumb brain and I was able to work that out. And yeah, the Pip-Boy was a real adjustment too. So
yeah.
that's why I can't tell if it's because I started out with the Fallout interface. That's why the Skyrim interface is so easy for me,
Mm.
or if Skyrim is just more logically structured in terms of that kind of interface and management of inventory and what have you.
I wonder what the interface would look like in Fallout 4 if lore wise they weren't 100% had to be locked into this Pit Boy format. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because Skyrim's was significantly better than the Pit Boy on whatever Fallout 3 or whatever. Skyrim was just a nice clean menu system, go left, go right, versus magic versus weapons, and up to go to your skill points and down to your map or whatever. It's just a really nice clean system, whereas the Pit Boy, you're just like flipping over here and there. Wait, tab left 3 times and then under left twice, and I can't find it. It just took a while to learn, but yeah, it's really, I do wonder what it would look like if they didn't have to lore wise, because Fallout, every game from now on, you'll have to use the Pit Boy. That is going to be, that is your connection to your stats or whatever is your Pit Boy. So
Yeah. It seemed odd to me that, there's still, yeah, like that further button you have to press just to get to your special stats as well. It didn't make a lot of sense to me
yeah,
at first. Like I felt that
to get to the chart, you mean the perk chart?
yeah, it's different
Yeah,
in Skyrim. In Skyrim, I felt like it made more sense in
yeah,
how
yeah,
you
yeah,
access it
exactly.
versus uh, it looks like you just kind of whip out a poster out of nowhere and you're just staring at it. Uh, it has no context, you know.
Let's see. Open world wise, are they the same open world wise?
I
And
would
NPC
say,
wise.
yeah, I would say I feel like I get more interaction from NPCs in Skyrim, and little bits and pieces than I do in Fallout,
Mhm.
mostly because I still haven't come across like fake Preston and it's so many other little things that other people are like, oh yeah, I don't fast travel all the time and I've run into these
I run
people.
into this guy 100
And
times.
yeah, and I'm like, I've never run into that. But the very first time I play Skyrim, I run into the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
And, and
I
that
think
whole,
I have a theory that they increased the frequency with which the Headless Horseman spawns in the special edition of Skyrim because I had never seen him and I had played, 1,500 hours at least of Skyrim. Like I
yeah.
had played so freaking much Skyrim and I'd never ever seen the Headless Horseman. And 4 hours into the first character I made out for the special edition, I ran into him. And I ran into him again on the second character I made, also like level 8.
Yeah.
Very early on, I'd run into him twice already. So
Did he shoot
I
off
my
of
theory
the
is they
sky?
they, they increased his frequency at which he
Yeah.
spawns.
Yeah, so
Clever.
I can't compare it to the original Skyrim in that case either because I haven't had any experience with that, but I feel like there's a lot more storytelling going on that seems interesting to
Yeah.
me. Skyrim in the NPCs, even that I'm just walking by and that are making idle comments, they feel like they're not so idle because they're also giving a lot of context to the world in terms of like,
Yeah.
Mama, is that a soldier or something like that? And then, the mother says something about like what soldiers do or something like that. And to me, it just gives more depth instead of, hey, Jimmy, I told you not to come back here no more. It's something like that. That doesn't happen anywhere in the game, anywhere. But like,
Do you find yourself reading all the books and scrolls and stuff in Skyrim?
oh hell yeah, I like that. I like that so much. But,
Yeah. And is one system better than the other, terminals versus books?
with books, it takes me back to a lot of my old RPG days when you would look at, and I'm talking like 8-bit scroller, 16-bit, or what have you. Um, and you come across like a little tome or this or that or the other, and you use the action button on it and you read it. So for me, that kind of feels comfortable and natural to me, and of course I just love reading books in general, and it makes it absorbing the lore like a lot easier for me because it makes sense for these to be written down in tomes. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're I felt a little bad the first couple of times when I was looking through people's computers and terminals, even if they're long dead, because I feel kind of like a total creeper, just
Yeah.
like I'm just trolling through all your personal emails. Don't mind me.
Whatever. Those people have been dead for 200 years. Who
I
cares?
know, I know. It just still it feels a little weird. Of course, I never feel bad whenever I go through Raider terminals or
Yeah.
whatever
Who
because
cares?
screw them.
Erase their game.
Yeah,
Screw them.
but it just I think I
Uh,
don't know, maybe because of the email format, it's
yeah.
less.
It's tougher, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Because books are specifically written for historical purposes. Emails are not
Hmm.
written to present history, but they have to be formatted in the Fallout universe to be historical representation of a time period. But they can't in an email just say, "And this is what happened." In Skyrim, they can in their book, like. But in the terminals, they have to present it in a form like, "Oh wait, this is an active conversation between two people, and that's how we have to tell the narrative story of what was happening back then."
Yeah,
So they do have that limitation. That is a good point.
yeah.
How about gear wise?
I currently understand the Fallout gear way better than I do Skyrim gear. So for me, I'm not sure I can talk about that in too much depth, but um, I really like my power armor. So I
Oh,
don't know if there's an equivalent in Skyrim.
I think that's unique with our group, though. I think you're the only one of the four hosts who really enjoy power armor a lot.
Yeah,
So that's
I don't
always an
know.
interesting perspective. I never hear about power armor very much.
Yeah, I know that it's pretty clunk, and oh my god, it is so annoying whenever it rains and it just
It's
shows
on
up
the
on
face.
the face shield. It's just absolutely stupid. And but when you're wearing glasses, it doesn't show up like that on your vision. So
And why am I standing underneath the roof of the Red Rocket garage and it's raining outside, but I'm
Uh-huh.
under the roof and it's still hitting my visor?
And it's,
What's up
yeah.
with that? Huh?
Yeah.
And the one thing I found remarkable about Fallout is that not many people that I know really love to use the power armor, yet it is the iconic imagery which is used to present the game.
Yeah.
That and the Fallout Boy thumbs up are the two images that you see used to market the series. Yet most players that I know hate the power armor.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of different reasons as to why people dislike the power armor. For me, I'm always super conscientious of my health, except when I'm playing Dead is Dead and I'm not in power armor because
Yeah,
I'm used to playing in power armor and not on survival mode.
yeah, that's a little brutal.
Yeah, that I set myself up to fail with that. And I don't know, like to me, it feels like I'm way more powerful in the armor, even though it limits me, in terms of some agility, I think. And
Cha-chunk, cha-chunk,
yeah,
cha-chunk,
to
cha-chunk,
chunk.
cha-chunk.
Yeah. Like it is absolutely ridiculous how sometimes the enemy just can't hear you. It's like I literally
Yeah,
just made a
I sound like a
giant
diesel
mess.
truck.
Yeah, like that, there's no way I'm
Exactly.
sneaking up on you. And yet here we are.
Yeah. I find that there should be even more. You should get more damage resistance than they give you, I think. I don't think that the power armor, you're wearing a tank
Pretty
around you.
much. Yeah.
Why are these pipe pistols damaging me at all? They should not be damaging me. I'm wearing a steel tank around me.
Yeah. Especially with how little power, like you can only rank up a pipe pistol so much, and there's no way that they have great mods, every single one of
Yeah.
them.
Those stupid raiders and super mutants, their pipe pistols should just bounce off of me.
Yeah.
They should dent it maybe, but they shouldn't be able to destroy my power armor. That is dumb.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, but I don't use power armor much. As far as the mechanics of the whole thing go, I was really well versed in Skyrim with how the mechanics of all the gear works in there. I'm only, I've played a bunch of hundreds of hours of Fallout 4 now, but I still feel like I'm learning how the mechanics of the gear works as far as legendary items are concerned, and like swapping the mods between different pieces of armor where you can have like items of armor but they all have different perks, not perks, different buffs on their armor, and you
Hmm.
can like remove those mods and pile them in your inventory and then get one piece of armor and then take all those mods and all put them all at once onto one better piece of armor of the same kind or something like that. Like I'm still kind of learning how that whole system works. I feel like I'm getting a better grasp of that now, but it just seems like other people, oh yeah, I just hop on, this is how it works. Okay, cool, fine, I know how that goes. And I'm just like, wait, I have to play so many hours to get used to something to learn
Yeah.
how the system actually works.
Yeah, it really depends a lot on the user interface for a lot of different, that's why some games it's really easy to kind of adapt and others not so much. Um, and I think Bethesda is very comfortable with doing its own thing. So they're gonna just keep doing what they want to do, which is
Combat.
fine. Combat. I don't know. I feel like it's more realistic in Skyrim because, like you said, not
Yeah,
every
because
raider is
dragons
supposed
are
to be a
totally
Deadeye.
real.
Yeah. It makes more sense whenever you're in close quarters with someone and they're swinging an axe at you and you're swinging back at them, for them to be able to deal that kind of damage. With
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
far away, it amazes me how good of a shot so many enemies are. It just absolutely baffles me.
Yeah.
Um,
I like in Skyrim, I feel like it's a very satisfying attack technique method to do a constant spray of magic that I just don't feel like you get with any of the weapons in Fallout.
Oh yeah, no. And even if you did, like say the submachine gun, that's a pretty constant flow. Like it's not a lot of damage to that.
I don't. Well, the flamer I think maybe also does sort of a similar like constant flow thing, but
Mm,
there's something different about casting the flames from your hands and a constant like just like it's a solid 15-second blast of fire at something. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why, but I do enjoy the magic in Skyrim that is a constant blast instead of a firing multiple projectiles like back to
Mm,
back to back.
yeah, like
I don't know
constant
why.
buffs or constant attack spells ready to go.
Yeah, well, just like fire, the flames spell, for instance, is a constant like just one beam of fire coming out of your hand, whereas the fireball spell shoots like projectiles of like fire, like bam, 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 instead of like one
Ah,
constant
okay.
stream. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I find the constant stream more satisfying, even though I think it definitely does less damage in that instance. But I like that style of combat, and this if you want to really get into the whole psychology of it too, it took me a while to get into Fallout because I am slightly uncomfortable with guns. I was raised in a Quaker household in a pacifist family, and guns. I mean, I actually had guns in my house, but they were like hunting rifles. There were no like, um, like handguns and AK-47. Like automatic rifles and stuff. But you grew up in gun culture land, and were you a military kid too?
Oh yeah, yeah. Air Force
Yeah, so
grad.
you probably shot guns a lot growing up, right?
Shotguns. Actually, not really.
Yeah.
I think it was just one handgun, probably a pistol.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably in the family safe. Although in recent years, the gun collection has grown. So
Oh, right.
yeah,
The stockpiling.
pretty
Yeah.
much. But
No, but like, see, I don't know. It just took me a little bit to get into Fallout, and I've never really played many shooter games in general. Like
yeah,
Uncharted, you consider that a shooter? I don't know.
I wouldn't consider that a shooter,
Yeah,
but
it's like Indiana Jones modernized a little bit or
yeah.
something.
And I mean, we've talked about like the what constitutes a shooter game,
Yeah.
and what constitutes, like it's more appropriate to say like it's an RPG shooter, blah 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 blah, kind of thing, rather than just categorize it into one category. Like there's so many different games that fit so many different categories. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
impossible to box
Crop
them in.
genres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I've always loved apocalyptic stories and post-apocalyptic stories, even
Right.
though like some of it is absolutely awful.
Do
Um,
you have any favorite books or movie examples of good apocalyptic stories?
I read I Am Legend, and I thought that was pretty cool, but I also really liked the way they changed things for the movie. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite, but it's just a really good example that I can think of off the top of my head. And I also like that they filmed two different. I love when movies film two different endings, and they both make sense. Like when one ending makes absolutely no sense, then I think it's pointless.
I had no idea any of that. I didn't know that they changed the book a good deal. I didn't know that they filmed two different endings.
Oh yeah, and it was the same thing for oh gosh, what was that movie Brad Pitt was in with all the zombies?
The
Z-Day.
Martian.
Yeah, completely different than the book.
Uh,
Completely different because the book is post all of that. Like I think about like 20 years post that or 10 years post the zombie uh, uprising, for lack of a
it's
better term, right now. But it
just
was
told by memory or whatever.
yeah, like it's interviews of several different people from around the world and how they handled the uh, zombie apocalypse in their case, or either during at the beginning of it or during it, or shortly before the end of it. And it was a whole bunch of really cool different perspectives. If you haven't read it, please read it. It's really really good.
Well,
um
they had to tell it through Brad Pitt's eyes. He is so dreamy.
So dreamy. Yeah, that's what got me to go. No, I, I
That,
did
that one
watch it.
shot in the preview, the trailer, where all the zombies are like ants crawling on top of each other to breach the
Yeah,
wall.
That's what got me to go in the
That's,
preview.
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, because it kind of makes sense. Like it's, I love when we can still find different twists to put on things when they make sense anyway.
When did it happen that zombies were okay to be agile and quick? I don't remember. Was that 28
I
days later or something?
think so. I think someone, yeah, at one point introduced
I don't remember.
the,
When did zombies become quick? Like now they're, that, because that actually makes them almost sort of half scary. I'm not into this whole zombie craze. I'm not into The Walking Dead, and so I think zombies are way overrated as a foe, a monster. I think in the pantheon of monsters, zombies are, way
yeah.
down the list. But it's, I think it is better now that they're quick. That does make them legitimately,
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's also like in The Walking Dead, for example, like for the most part they're pretty slow.
Yeah, you're
Um,
in that
but the
show.
fact that they can go a little faster, but just not, I don't think indefinitely. I'm not sure.
Well,
Um,
in Fallout 4, the feral ghouls are fast as shit, and they like duck down when you try to shoot at them, and then they like it seems like they jump up and do the splits real quick as you try to shoot. Why the fuck did you do that?
yeah, an aerial 360 or something like
Yeah, like
that.
you just jumped over my head, did a backward flip, and kicked me in the head. I'm dead.
Yeah, that to me, they're the worst in this game
Yeah,
because they pop up out of nowhere silently, and then suddenly something's screaming in your face,
yeah.
and it
So what do you
more
do?
often than not startles me.
What's your course of action when one of those situation pops up like that?
Spray and pray. I'll be
Spray and pray.
honest, like I
That's
panic.
is that when you buy it? Is it an explosive shotgun or rifle? I don't remember.
Oh no, I mean like just whatever weapon I literally have in my hand, I'm
I thought
just
you meant
firing
specifically
it off.
because
No, I
does sell a weapon called spray and pray, right?
there is a weapon called spray and pray. Yeah.
I
Uh,
forget if it's a shotgun or rifle, but it has the explosive effect to it. Yeah, I like to carry a a melee weapon for those situations because I feel like with VATS and melee, those close quarters scenario, like they're too fast for me to like be able to twitch hit them. Like they just dodge and stuff. Like I'm not very good at that. But yeah, I like to use VATS because I can, with VATS, you'll hit them. It'll lock on for you. And I'm not very good at aiming at stuff. Um, but let's see, what else did Michelle say here? Let's see, open world combat. Quests wise, I think Skyrim. Just their the sheer breadth of quest in the game, I think, is probably tenfold Fallout 4. I don't, I can't say that with any accuracy, but
yeah.
you know, Skyrim was pretty groundbreaking in the whole Radiant quest thing, the way they would structure the quest, so things would lead to each other, and uh, all the NPCs with all the different stories. Yeah, you're right. But still, well, it's still good. I don't know why I don't know why Michelle is making us compare these two games like it's a competition or something. What's
Yeah, Michelle, what's up with you? Come on.
uh, the main quest? Well, a lot of people say Fallout 4 has really limitations with this main quest because it gives you an identity and it doesn't let you form your own
Mhm.
character.
Yeah, I think if Fallout had just been kind of straight up like, hey, like you're not really gonna. This is kind of a guided storyline, not completely, but like it's
Yeah.
it starts off at a certain point, and there will be motivations, and it will, inform kind of what goes on. Instead of just trying to cast it as like, well, I mean it's open world and so on and so forth. Well, yes, to a degree, but you're also starting us off with something that's when you started off with Skyrim, it was just literally absolute chaos, and you got two choices, follow one guy or follow the other, and it just starts off this, it just feels so much more open to me, like anything can happen. But with Fallout 4, it feels like there's kind of an invisible line that you're trying to follow, which isn't bad. I mean, I've played games where you have absolutely no choice in, what
Yeah.
you're you say or you do. You're just playing the characters. Pretty much all you have control over is maybe moving around a map or battle. And
Yeah.
so it's not bad. It's just like it has as much freedom as any other RPG that or an RPG like Skyrim is to be false.
Yeah.
But it's not super limiting. It is annoying though, especially because the game itself, it's like just like the email you were reading earlier, like, hey, I just told you all these things about, where you might be able to find your child, but hey, instead of doing that, can you please go do this and that for me? I think that it would be very urgent to go looking for the son right away. But there's so many things that slow you up on the way. And there's so much to do. And like, I feel if you followed every single quest only that led you to Sean, you wouldn't be anywhere leveled up or built up enough to where you want to be by that time.
One of my ideas for the next Dead is Dead, or maybe not Dead is Dead, but the next survival mode challenge would be
Mm-hmm.
to try to complete the main quest with as little experience points as possible, as little, like, as little level as possible. Like, see how young you can be or whatever by the
Yeah,
time you finish the game. I don't know. I thought that would be interesting.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Um, Okay, so what else? He had one last thing here, Michelle. Factions wise, actually, I think they're both great. They both have 4 distinct, cool, different factions that are well distinguished. They all have really cool different backgrounds. I think that it's really neat in Fallout 4 how those 4 different factions interact with each other. In Skyrim, you don't have the Dark Brotherhood now wants to kill the companions. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fun that the Institute hates the Brotherhood and the Brotherhood hates the Railroad and the Railroad just kind of hates everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I do like that. I like the way the factions are set up in Fallout. I really do.
Yeah, so the factions are all great, but the Fallout might have the better interactions between.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, between
it's
because
written into the main storyline where it is not in Skyrim.
mhm. Yeah, because from what I've seen, it's also mostly talk about, the Stormcloaks versus the Imperials, right?
Yeah, that's the other. See, that's another thing about Skyrim is there are basically the main storyline and the main storyline B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's the Civil War whole thing that's going on as well. Whereas you can actually kind of ignore it, which I did in the most recent Skyrim Roundtable season. I basically didn't pay any attention to the Civil War at all, which I'd never done before. So you know, it was actually kind of interesting to see how the game reacted with people trying to recruit me constantly. I hadn't joined either side, so it was kind of fun to do it that way too.
But that's pretty cool too, because when you think about it, if there is a major conflict going on, it's like, well, you're either with them or you're with us. And oh my God, you haven't already joined yet? Well, no, come on, we've got cookies. Well, no, come on, we've got great beer. Like,
Well, in Skyrim, it's more like, no, you have to prove yourself to us, and the other people's like, no, you have to prove yourself to us, and like, no, you have to go do us a favor, and it's like, no, they have to go do us a favor. They have to go on this fetch quest.
uh,
Yeah. So yeah, Michelle, I don't know, that's just a Karen and I would say quick breakdown, but that actually we talked about that for a good long while. So thanks for the topic, Michelle. Good email, sir. We have a hot topic going around in the Facebook group, Kara. This whole would you rather battle one Deathclaw sized duck or 100 duck sized Deathclaws conversation going on. So, Dennis has written in with an opinion. Do you have any sort of opinion on this thing?
hell yeah, I would rather fight a Deathclaw-sized duck because number one, it's a giant target.
Yeah.
Number two, it's got a really soft underbelly.
Yeah, it's a duck.
Uh, and number three, I've seen gremlins, okay? Like I know what happens when you've got a whole bunch of very dangerous pointy teeth things
Yeah.
running around at your feet, you know, ankle height or shin height. Like no, I that is not an ideal situation for me. So I would rather fight one giant target.
And the other question is, does the duck have the temperament of a deathclaw or a duck?
Hmm. Well, I'm
Because
not
if
sure.
it's a deathclaw sized duck, whatever, I'll throw out some bread scraps and it'll just leave me alone.
That's true. But let's say the reason you have to fight it is because it's picked a fight with you for some reason, like you
Okay,
wandered too
so
close to its nest or something.
you want to dig into it. What is a duck's attack methods? How does a duck defend itself in nature if it is
Uh,
attacking something?
I mean, it's really weird though because they've got rounded bills, so it's not like they hurt all that much.
Yeah. They don't peck. Do they bite? Do they snip? I hear geese will pinch and bite really hard.
Beast,
Do
yeah, yeah,
ducks do
geese.
a similar action?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably what they do.
Are
A lot of
are the
darting.
bills are the bills textured in any way that would cause abrasions?
The Fallout feed asking the real questions here.
Are
Um,
duck bills abrasion causing?
I don't know. I feel like they're pretty smooth, but if it's like a death claw sized duck, imagine it's like two slabs of table coming at you. So yeah, it's blunt, but it's thick and it's gonna hurt.
Um, are there any like toenails on those webbed feet? Is there anything scary down there?
I think they end in almost like points, but not like super sharp points.
Hmm. I'm really trying to find something dangerous about this animal, guys. Will it
Well,
quack extremely loudly in my ear to disorient me and or deafen and blind somehow like a concussion grenade? Like will it
I
quack
think
loudly?
probably. I mean, they're tiny and that you can hear them for quite a distance, so it'll probably be
Okay,
pretty
okay.
loud.
So we could have a sonic attack of some sort. Okay, I'm with you there.
I mean, they eat fish, so they are meat eaters to a degree.
Ducks eat fish. Okay, okay.
I think I think they'll go after mostly fleshy stuff in the water. So I would say that you could be in danger of being, you know, like just in one fell swoop, it just shoves you in its mouth and down you go. Because they don't have teeth, so they don't chew, so you go straight into the gullet where the acid is. Or do they have gizzards? Because gizzards hurt. Gizzards are very
I don't
sharp
know. Is that a
things.
chicken thing? Is that all fowl? Is it
I
all
don't know.
poultry?
I feel like it's probably a lot of fowl, if not all fowl.
Yeah. Turkeys have them.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, do ducks have gizzards? Do they have abrasive bills? Do they have any sort of scratchy device on them toes? Oh man. I don't know, Kara. I'm also here's the question. Would you rather it's
Yeah.
basically would you rather fight a manatee or 100 piranhas? You know, like that's I feel like that is a similar question.
Yeah, I would attack. I would fight the
The
manatee because
manatee
the
every fucking
piranhas.
time.
Yeah, the piranhas move fucking fast too.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm imagining about little death claws. That's
yeah,
exactly the scenario. Little death claws, not only will they kill me, but it'll be death by 50,000 bites. You know, it could be quick or it could be extremely slow, but it's not going to be pretty.
yeah. Okay, so I just
Maybe.
looked up duck feet, and it looks like they do, or many types of ducks do have like claw kind of
Oh, okay.
protrusions.
Okay, so if it was like maybe a glowing legendary duck, then it could have maybe some poison damage on those little claws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I'm starting to see where this could be dangerous.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm looking at duck bills.
Okay, are they abrasive in any fashion? Or
They
do they
look
are
smooth as fuck. Like
no duck teeth? Damn.
they do. It depends on the duck. It depends on the duck. So we'd have to narrow down the breed here. But some of them have a slightly hooked protrusion on the edge or the very tip of their bill, but
Okay.
it still looks pretty blunt. But yeah, the claws could be a problem. Okay, do ducks have gizzards? Looks like they do.
Oh, hey, sorry, Michelle chimed in a little bit on the YouTube page. He says he likes the connections between the different terminals and notes, but so many people collect them, though. Bizarre. Even though the bugs hurt you. Not in competition, really, but I was interested to hear your thoughts and feelings about, our whole Skyrim versus Fallout. That's one of the main weaknesses in Skyrim, he says. You can be the boss of every faction, and there are no interactions between them. So he does see that as a weakness as well. I like how Fallout interacts, and I will always prefer one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Thanks for hanging out, Michelle. Sorry, Kara, what were you saying before? I so rudely interrupted.
Oh, don't worry about it. Like
duck bills. We were talking about painful duck.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm remembering how gizzards work. It's not the gizzard itself that
we're talking about gizzards. Sorry.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt itself so much as the ones who do use their gizzards as a method of chewing. They put in bits of stone or grit, and it hangs there in that gizzard, and it helps to act as teeth
or something, right?
To break down. Yeah, that's where their quote unquote teeth would be.
So ducks have no use for teeth because they do have gizzards.
Yeah, but that's a weird evolution thing. Like, how the hell would it's weird? Like, in order to chew my food, I am going to have to swallow dirt. Like stones and sand and whatnot. Like, that's weird.
Did you say evolution? God created gizzards because that makes the most sense. Come on.
God was drunk on that day.
He's like, yeah, rocks in their fucking throats. That makes the most sense, jerk. Do it.
But how does it stay in the gizzard and not fall into the
stomach? I don't care. Just draw it up, Nancy. This is what we're doing. all the birds, fucking rocks in their throats. Boom. Okay. So
now let's move on to the platypus.
That motherfucker's dangerous. Don't they have poison claws?
They do. Poison
something.
Spit or
bite. It's got to be their bite, right? They have textured abrasive bills. Now, okay, change the argument from duck to platypus, and you have a much more interesting conversation.
Yeah. They have platypi or platypuses, however you say it, have, and it's only the males, it seems, have a pointed spur located just above the heel of each hind leg, which can be used to inject poison.
Legs. Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's the hind legs, not the attacking front ones. So it seems like they would get into a protective position on their back and attack with their back legs like cats would or something,
Yeah.
Those cats, you get them on their back, they're fucking dangerous.
I've been kicked by cats several times over. Like, that's no joke. Like, that can bruise you.
A Deathclaw-sized cat, it's over.
Done. Either appease it with lots of tuna or just walk away.
Oh God. Oh, okay. So let's check in with Dennis here. Dennis says, I'm not sure I'm understanding the question properly. Dennis says, the question as I understand it, would you rather fight one duck-sized Deathclaw or one Deathclaw-sized duck? No, it's not one Deathclaw-sized duck. It's 100. 100 Deathclaw. No 100 duck-sized Deathclaws. See, Dennis says, I was raised in the city and don't have a vast knowledge on duck behavior. My money is on the Deathclaw-sized duck. From what I've seen, ducks tend to be pretty passive, so enlarging a passive creature I don't feel would make it inherently more dangerous. I can shrink down a Deathclaw, and it will still be bonkers as shit. I think it goes back to the old, it's not the size of the man in the fight, but it's the size of the fight and the man thing. Yeah, and I think that's even a better, I still think that's a better question. Okay, in the conversation, one Deathclaw-sized duck versus 100 duck-sized death claws. That's, of course, you do not want to fight those 100 death claws. That is, of course, more dangerous than one death claw-sized duck.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. But in the conversation, one duck-sized death claw versus one death claw-sized duck, one-on-one.
One-on-one.
That's a more interesting conversation as well.
Yeah. And, that takes us back to the whole duck temperament kind of thing. And, from what I think, it's kind of like dogs and cats, like different breeds have different temperaments. And it depends on the damn duck we're talking about.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything. I'm not an entomologist. Or is that bird? No. What is bird?
I have no idea. Ornithologist?
Ornithologist. Yeah, I'm not an ornithologist at all. So I have no idea. If you any ornithologist in the group, go ahead and hit us up.
Yeah.
Let us know duck behavior, different species of ducks.
Let us know the worst combination of duck and deathclaw.
Duck behavior. No, we're highly interested. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that's it. Thanks for writing in, Dennis. Pat has lots of very valuable opinions about this conversation as well that we'll have to check in with Pat when he gets on. But yeah, that's a conversation that's been going around the Facebook group there. So, Carol, would you like to hop into our next segment of the show? We have part 2 of King of the Bunker Hill. Would you like to check in with that?
Hell yeah. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Nice. So just a reminder, King of the Bunker Hill is like our King of the Hill style trivia challenge here at the Fallout Feed. What we do is we just ask 5 questions of 2 participants, and whoever gets the most questions gets to come back the next week and defend their title and stay King of the Hill. And, Bunker Hill is one of the locations in Fallout 4, so we're doing a cute little wink and nod, King of the Bunker Hill. And each time you win, we have a Funko mini mystery vinyl figure that comes in those little black sealed bags, so you can't tell which one you get, and you open it's a fun little mini mystery. So each time you win, we will send you a little mini mystery figure. And the first week, Lee was victorious. So Lee, congratulations. We'll be sending one of those off to you very soon. But we'll send them all at once, so I don't have to send over and over and pay different shipping price. So Lee will be participating again this week. So Lee, congratulations. And you will be going up against Michelle this week in the King of the Bunker Hill Trivia Challenge. So let's go ahead and check in and see where we go with Lee and Michelle. Live from Vault 97. It's the King of the Bunker Hill Quiz Show Challenge. It's the show where contestants compete to come back week after week to see who can collect the most Funko mystery minifigures. Brought to you by the Fallout Feed and ASA Podcasting. And now, your host, Susan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again time to find out who is the wittiest in all the wasteland. It is once again time for King of the Bunker Hill, proudly brought to you by the Fallout Feed and ASA Podcasting. Today we have last week's winner, Lee, and a brand new challenger, Michelle.
Greetings. Hi.
Hello, excellent. Okay, Lee, you did.
Kara, if you're still on, we have a special request from the Peanut Gallery over in YouTube that you answer these questions. So before each one, I will ask Kara if she can answer these questions. So, hang on, I forget what the questions are. So actually, we can let Susan ask the question, then we'll let you answer, and then we'll let the contestant answer. Okay?
All right.
pretty stonking victory last week, I might say. Congratulations on that one again.
Thank you.
And how are you feeling this time, Michelle? A different competitor? Potentially a bit more challenging?
We shall see.
Okay. And so we've got our new contestant, Michelle. How are you this evening?
I'm fine, and you?
I am in excellent spirits. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Michelle. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Quebec, Canada.
Ooh, exciting. And so I know where Canada is, but whereabouts is Quebec? It's a bit fuzzy.
Oh, it's Eastern Province. Right near
how's it-
Ontario.
Oh, Ontario's still there. Excellent. Good to know. I hope the radiation is not too bad up in the Great White North. But obviously, if it is, I can clean the studio later. So let's get right down to it. So as is custom here at King of the Bunker Hill, the winner of the previous week does get to go first. So I'm going to ask you, Michelle, to hop into our little soundproof booth here and put your headphones on so you can't hear Lee's answers. So if you just do that for me now and give me a little nod when you're ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, I think we are all good here. Yes, Michelle is giving me the nod from the soundproof booth, Lee. So are you ready to begin your second King of the Bunker Hill quiz round?
Ready to go.
Okay. Question 1. What does GOAT stand for? So,
Kara, do you understand the question? What does GOAT stand for?
I do, and I don't remember. All I can think of is greatest of all time, and I know that's not what it means in this case.
That's awesome that you said greatest of all time. That's because that is the acronym that I know.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I was like, greatest of all time? What the hell does that have to do with anything?
I remember hearing it like once or twice, but I mean, isn't that mentioned only starting in like Fallout 2?
I have no idea. It's I think it's in 3. I don't know if it's in New Vegas or not, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
believe
it's definitely
in
not in 4, and that's the only one I've played. Unless it
It
is in 4 and I
is in
just haven't
4.
found
It
it.
is. Yeah, it's in God, what's that place called? It is
Covenant?
in 4, but it's not. It is in Covenant. You're right, but
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not part of the main quest, so you don't necessarily have to run into it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've never gone to Covenant.
Okay, so let's check in with Lee here.
what does GOAT stand for?
I want to say Generalized Occupational Aptitude Test.
That is correct. Well done. We are 1 for 1.
I live for
Okay.
acronyms.
Everyone loves a good acronym. Okay, question 2. What item serves as the MacGuffin in Fallout New Vegas?
Have you played Fallout New Vegas?
Oh, no, I have not. I'm going to guess a Vendortron, but I don't think they're in New Vegas.
I think there's Vendortrons in New Vegas. I maybe not. I don't know. I haven't played it either, so I don't know. What the hell am I talking about?
I don't know.
The only reason I know this is because of Pat's
Let's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so far behind on that.
So I will mark you off on that one, and we will continue on. See how Lee does.
Okay, let's see. G.I. Joe told me what a MacGuffin was. Fallout New Vegas. Wow.
Feel free to take a random guess. I appreciate this is a tricky one.
There's something in there's a casino section. It might even be a DLC. I don't recall. And there's a goal there, and I just flat out do not remember what it was.
So you are sort of close with casino, so you can think of things that involve casinos.
Oh,
might...
the platinum chip, perhaps.
Yeah. What kind of platinum chip?
Platinum poker chip.
That is correct. Well done, Lee. 2 for 2.
Platinum poker
Okay.
chip.
That sounds
Question.
awesome.
Pat's recent Let's Play audios.
Oh, excellent. So I'm glad we've got some friends out there helping you. Okay, question 3. Name the sharpshooter met at the dinosaur sculpture in Fallout New Vegas.
Deadeye.
Deadeye.
If it's a sharpshooter, I'm gonna just.
It's tough since you've not played the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
So, what is your final answer going to be, Lee?
I don't have one because I know it's not Deacon either. It starts with a D. That's all I can remember.
Okay, so that is unfortunately that is incorrect. So we are 2 for 3. So we're now going to move on to question 4.
She'll reveal the answer
The
later, I
location
guess.
Dunwich Forum, Fallout 4, is a reference to a story written by whom?
Oh. No, not Orson Welles. H.P. Lovecraft?
Oh, good job, Kara. That's really awesome.
Yes! I got one!
No, that's awesome. Good job. H.P. Lovecraft. Wonderful. Gosh. I don't know if I probably would not have gotten that had I before, started playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't.
'Cause
But no, that's good. Good poll, though. Good job.
yeah.
All right, let's see what Lee says here.
A horror guy
A horror guy. Stephen King.
from New England.
Oh, Stephen King.
Any ideas, Lee?
I know I've heard various places, but I'm pretty sure I haven't read any of his stuff either.
Once again, feel free to take a wild guess.
All I can think is Albert Hitchcock. So I know that's right. Not right.
Okay. All right, one more go to give me a final answer. Come on, Lee. You can do
She
this.
gives them way too many chances. Stickler.
No, I'm blank.
Okay, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. You are, 2 out of 4. It's pretty good. So we're now moving on to question 5. Which Fallout 4 follower was involved in local politics as a child?
Local politics as a child.
The question makes sense. See, really, in order to know what this question means, you would have had to also play Fallout 3.
McCready.
Very good. Good job, Kara. Would have you gotten it eventually had I not given you that hint?
Pretty much, if you had not given me that hint, it wouldn't have even occurred to me. But it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Considering he was like the little lamplight or something like.
He's the mayor of Little Lamplight, which that sounds adorable, but I have no idea what that actually means because I haven't played the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
That's
it means
like a town of kids,
yeah.
right?
Like I read this on a wiki about him because I was wanting to know more about his character, and it was all there. So that's the only reason I know this.
That's great. Yeah, awesome. Good poll, Kara.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
let's
hint.
see if Lee goes here.
You meet him in Good Neighbor.
Mhm.
He's kind of a ranger type guy because he was in Little Lamplight, I think.
So you are along the right lines.
I imagine he has a name.
He does. He does, in fact, have a name. He was suitably christened.
I even have a figurine of him.
I'm going to have to hurry you along a little bit there, Lee.
Yes, I'm sure.
Fortunately, our audience.
I've drawn another blank.
That is a shame. Okay.
2
So,
for 5.
yeah, that is 2 for 5. So we're, as I said, the answers you got wrong. I can tell you them now because Michelle is still in the booth. So the sharpshooter you meet at the dinosaur sculpture is Boone. The location Dunwich Borers in Fallout 4 is a reference to a story written by H.P. Lovecraft.
Lovecraft.
And the Fallout 4 follower who was involved in local politics as a child, you were certainly right. He did come from Little Lamplight, and that is Macready.
McCready. Okay.
Okay, so 2 for 5, not bad. Let's see how Michelle fares. So, can we just get Michelle back into the studio, please? Let's give Lee a big round of applause because I think he's done exceptionally well. You know, he's a returning champion, so he deserves some respect for that. So, big round of applause. Okay, Michelle, are you all happy to be back with us?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't tell you how Lee has done, but I will be honest, it's not going to be easy for you. So, without further ado, let's begin your first foray into the world of King of the Bunker Hill quizzing. Question 1. What does GOAT stand for? And by GOAT, I mean GOAT as opposed to the animal.
I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, take a wild guess. You've got 4 letters to play with there.
Overseer.
Okay, and
No.
it just nothing coming into the old noggin.
No,
Okay,
too
that
much
is
hydration.
that's absolutely fine. We will swiftly move on to question 2, which is what item serves as the MacGuffin in Fallout New Vegas? What item serves as the MacGuffin in Fallout New Vegas?
MacGuffin. Is that kind of a McDonald's? We have McDonald's.
It is a device sort of to drive the plot. That's not necessarily the whole point of the plot.
No idea.
Okay, I was a little bit helpful with Lee on this one, so I'll give you a little bit of help too. It involves going to the casino.
Oh, the casino chip. The
Okay,
platinum chip.
Okay, what was a bit more specific than that? But that is absolutely kind of right. But I just need the full answer. I need the full name of it. What was it a chip for?
For Mr.
There
House.
Was there a game that it was associated with?
The casino platinum chip.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll give you platinum chip. It's the platinum poker chip. But I think we'll take that for you.
Oh, poker. Okay.
Okay.
I think that was pretty close enough.
Question 3.
Yeah, and
Name
he
the
speaks a different language.
sharpshooter
Yeah.
dinosaur sculpture in Fallout New Vegas.
Boone.
Is correct. Okay, 2 out of 3 at this point. Okay. The location Dunwich Borers in Fallout 4 is a reference to a story written by whom?
H.P. Lovecraft.
That is correct. Okay, we are 3 out of 4 at this stage. Okay, and question 5. Which Fallout 4 follower was involved in local politics as a child?
Piper.
Is that your final answer?
Oh no, that's the kid from Fallout 3. Oh, what's his name?
Going to have to
Deacon?
hurry a little bit. No, I'm afraid that is. Okay, the correct is Macready. Gives you 3 out of 5 in that round, which makes you the winner. So I am sorry, Lee. You are unfortunately not victorious in this round, but let's congratulate Michelle for being the victorious winner in this particular week's events. So everyone, let's give Michelle a round of applause.
Woo!
I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah.
How do you
Woo, woo, woo.
I bow to your superior intellect.
and how do you feel, Michelle? Are you very thrilled to be winning your new Funko figure?
I'm very surprised.
No, that is excellent. Of course, the fantastic prize could not be possible without our sponsors, the Fallout Feed and ASA Podcasting. So next week, Michelle, you shall be joining us against a brand new competitor. And that is all we've got time for this week. So I am going to say goodbye to everyone out there and stay safe in the wasteland.
Thank you for listening to this edition of the King of the Bunker Hill Quiz Show Challenge, brought to you by the Fallout Feed and ASA Podcasting. Join Susan next time to see who will win the coveted Funko Mystery Minifigures and be crowned King of the Bunker Hill. Oh, that's fun.
Yep.
That is so much fun.
Okay. All right. Okay. That was really tough.
Yeah, awesome. Great. Thanks again, hosting Susan, all the way from Vault 97 over there. Everyone, check out the West Vault Radio podcast at vault97.com. You'll find lots of fun stuff from Susan and her cohorts down there in Vault 97, her army of robot broadcasters. They're always up to some good shenanigans. Everyone, check that out. So tune in next week where Lee will go up against, oh God, I don't even remember who it was. Did I write it?
Don't you mean Michelle?
Or Michelle, that's what I meant. Michelle, I didn't write it down. Who's next? Was it I don't even remember. Michelle? Who are we going up against?
Yeah, Michelle.
That's I love doing that little quiz show. That's a lot of fun. Congratulations to Michelle for knocking Lee off. Michelle, so you've got one vinyl Funko mystery mini figure in the book. So we'll see if you can bank a couple more, buddy. Good luck.
He doesn't remember either who he's up against.
Yeah, he doesn't remember either. That's hilarious.
No one remembers.
No one remembers. We're so organized here at the show.
Either that or we're synths and our memories have been erased.
Actually, I have it here. It's Michelle versus Nate. So Michelle versus Nate. Next time on the Fallout feed. Kara, what have you been doing? Anything in closing thoughts here? Just sort of like getting ready for the roundtable. We'll be recording that. Oh, that's next week already. So I actually haven't started any of the assigned quest yet. I need to get on it. I was trying to level up to 30. I don't think I'm going to quite get to 30 before I have to start doing the quest before, the timing works out that I have to get the quest done by for next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to do a lot of level grinding. My research papers have put me so far behind.
Oh, yeah.
So
You've got real responsibilities.
Yeah, I cannot wait to graduate. I have got senioritis so bad, and I'm not even a senior. But I think I'm going to have some time this weekend to do a lot of good grinding and just kind of get myself up there. I've never played this particular DLC.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, and I also still need to figure out how to download Tales of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, on a PC, I don't know how you do that. How you go about?
I don't know.
There's
Maybe
something called a Nexus or something. I think I don't know.
Yeah, so I may need to get explicit directions.
Are you on a Steam something or other?
I am on a Steam. Yes.
I think.
I bet there's probably a workshop I can go through.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. I don't know what I'm talking about, of course, but I think I've heard that as a possibility.
Hopefully they've posted it on the workshop. That'd be nice. Or a workshop. But because I know how to do that. But if not, I can just hit up the other guys and see if any of them have done that on a PC.
Word. Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to grind up some character this weekend and get to the start of my characters. We're again, just a reminder here. Let me check in your quest, everybody. If you want to sign up to do a play along character, do so at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. A reminder: the character generators at the website. See asapodcasting.com. Click on the Fallout feed sections. and it's called Fallout Feed Roundtable Random Character Generator. People on Samsung Galaxy seem to have problem getting it to generate randomly. So if you have the possibility, go to your desktop and do it there. I always have good success on my desktop. So click on that random character generator, brings up a Pip-Boy, and each time you refresh that page, it should bring up a fresh set of stats. If you get a roll into something that you do normally, the whole point of the roundtable is try to get us out of our comfort zone to try to get to experience different parts of the game that we normally wouldn't. So if it's something, if you roll it and you usually play a melee character and you roll it and your concentrations are all things that you're normally concentrated, then go ahead and give yourself a fresh roll. See if you can get yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's just a fun little project, and we enjoy all the play along characters. So if you're interested in doing that, please roll a fresh character, join up, and send us some emails in and some audio feedback. We always love to hear your voices. So I'm just going to do some more grinding. I actually haven't done any building at all, character. You know me, I like to grind my levels up and do building. I haven't scrapped and built stuff at all really yet. So I think I'm level 24, which is close to 30. So I think if it all comes down to it, I just might spend a couple hours just building stuff and see if I can't grind myself up to level 30 and then start the Nuka World DLC. But actually on the schedule, if you look at it, the first two quests are Tails quests anyway, so I can gain maybe a little bit of XP in those. I don't know how much level-wise, how much XP you get by turning in Tails quests. I assume it'll be the same sort of rate as normal game.
I would say either normal or slightly less.
Yeah, you think it might be less?
Yeah, it might be less. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the first Nuka World quests are pretty impossibly hard.
Oh, great. What am I getting myself into, Andrew?
They really punish you for wanting to go to this fucking park. It's ridiculous. It's like scaling the gator moats in front of Disney.
Oh, man. Well, there may be more rage quits in my future then.
There definitely will be. Oh my god, there's some nasty robots in front of that place. So that's really all I've got for this evening. Kara, do you have anything else you'd like to get into?
Glad I could pop in here at the endish here. And
at the endish? You were on for like most of the show. Come on.
Oh, it was.
Great. Thanks for hopping on. Yeah.
All right, good. Man, I need to quit making a habit of this, like not coming in when we're starting.
No, it's totally fine. I seriously do not care at all. It's totally great that you hopped on. I thought I was just going to do just kind of a quick show by myself, pound through some emails, do a reminder about the round table, play the King of the Bunker Hill, and then, call it a night. But I'm glad you hopped on and gave me, it's always good to have someone to chat with.
Yeah.
And Michelle, thank you for checking in. It's always great to have Michelle and talking with us in the YouTube chat. That's always fun.
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh, wow. His character is apparently already at level 53, so...
Oh, God.
Overachiever. I mean,
Kara, I know you're
jealous.
still just in college. I know you're still just getting that master's degree and stuff, and I know you're in the workforce already. But I've been in the workforce for far too long. I cannot wait to retire. Michelle, I am so jealous. I wish my character was level retirement.
Uh-huh. Me too. Me too. I tell you, like, retirement, like, currently most retirees are like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I know what I'm going to do when I retire. Are you kidding?
I have all sorts of stuff I'm ready to do. I'm ready to not go to work and do. But you got to take money and be prepared and blah, 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 blah.
Adulting.
So let's start a podcast instead.
Yay!
Great. Okay, so it's been so fun to talk with you tonight, Kara. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Another shout out to Michelle in the chat. And thanks everyone for listening to this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Bye.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.